Hey everyone, we are live on this amazing Monday night after the tour of Texas weekend, which was awesome. There's been so much going on in the volleyball world, and I wanted to come on and chit chat with you all tonight, answer recruiting questions. And more importantly, we are gearing up for Triple Crown. And I am so excited to get to Kansas City. Not super excited about the weather next week in Kansas City, but really excited to get to the tournament. We're hosting a party, which is one of the reasons that I'm coming on live tonight. I've partnered with Athlete AI, and we are hosting a party next Friday night from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Pizza Bar. So I'm going to be sharing details with you all about how to RSVP. It's totally free, and we've got prizes. We're doing interviews and just kind of showing off the Athlete AI platform and the program. And our team's going to be there. So the V-Ball recruiter staff will be there, as well as Athlete AI. So excited to be, working with that crew. And we're going to be doing all kinds of cool stuff, player interviews and chit-chatting with you all. So super excited about that. I think it's going to be really fun. And I think it's going to be a really cool opportunity to connect with everyone. So really pumped about that. So yeah, really fired up on this Monday night to chit chat and chat with you all about this party that we're hosting. I'm going to be posting the content on my Instagram, on TikTok, really everywhere. I'll be posting the graphic and the invite to come to the Pizza Bar next Friday night in Kansas City. So really excited about having the opportunity to host a party with Athlete AI. So the V-Ball recruiter team, we're all kind of coming together. And V-Ball recruiter, Athlete AI, we're doing player interviews, wanting to answer questions about recruiting, about video editing, about all kinds of stuff. So really excited about getting out there with you all. So wanted to come on tonight and chat about that, chat a little bit about recruiting and things that are happening right now. College athletics are a mess, in the event that you all did not realize that at the moment. So would love to hear your thoughts about what's going on in the world of college athletics, because it's a little crazy right now. A lot of things happening. Excited. Oh, some people are excited about the Red Hat games that are coming up for next year. So I'm on this new software tonight, just to let you know. And the software is it's called StreamYard, y'all. So I am streaming and I'm looking at myself on multiple screens here, which is a little odd, and trying to see your all comments and chit chat and all of that. Ooh, this is a good question from the Tribe crew. What can you share with our girls about how much you look at a player's body language when you evaluate or recruit them? That is such a great question. Whether it's myself, whether it's college coaches, or really anybody that's out there and evaluating talent, your body language definitely matters. How you carry yourself, really from the moment you walk in the gym. You're always on a stage, even in the hotel rooms. Keep in mind that coaches aren't always wearing their gear, but when you show up to a tournament and you are checking in with your hotel, your respect, how you respect your parents, your coaches, all of that. You're always on a stage. That's definitely something that you need to keep in the back of your mind. In terms of your overall body language, making eye contact with your coaches, ensuring that you are actively listening to your coaches, to your teammates, that you are really being very supportive on the court. Sometimes when you get frustrated or down on yourself, it's really hard. Sometimes athletes are really, really competitive. I really struggled with that as a player myself. And something that you really have to work hard on in terms of your breathing and your overall body language. But making sure that you're a great teammate, that you are cheering on the sidelines when you're not on the court. And then when you're on the court, when you make a mistake, taking a deep breath, learning how to let that go, move on to the next play. Coaches definitely pay attention to how you interact with your teammates, and then overall how you interact with one another. So I'm going to go through here and just continue to answer questions and talk a little bit about the party that we're hosting. So you're going to see a graphic posted in a little while on my Instagram and on TikTok later tonight. We're going to post the invite for any of you all that are going to be in Kansas City. We are hosting a party at the pizza bar. We're taking over the pizza bar from 4 to 7 p.m. on Valentine's Day, and it's going to be Athlete AI, their crew. It's going to be us, and just excited to have an opportunity to connect with you all, get to know you. It's totally free, and we'd love for you to come and eat and chit chat. There's interviews, there's a DJ, it's going to be hyped. Everything that we do is over the top here. So just know and expect that it's going to be out of this world, and we're excited to have you all join us. So, okay, I'm going to go through and answer some questions. So feel free to ask questions. I'm going to go through and answer kind of as we go here. And excited to connect with you all tonight. So here we go. Miss Ava, I am getting so many emails that say they are done with recruiting in the class of 26. And now I feel like I've started my recruiting process way too late. I should have started before my sophomore year ended. Okay, so let's chat, girl. It can be a very discouraging thing to experience when you are emailing coaches, getting responses, and getting shot down. A couple things that you need to be aware of. You need to take a step back and really reevaluate your target list. You need to see who you're targeting and figuring out athletically, are these schools that you can actually play for? One of the things that we do when we take an athlete on is we do an academic athletic evaluation, and we want to understand what your goals are when it comes to the recruiting process. Are you looking to use volleyball as a leg up to a top academic school? Are you looking to graduate debt-free? What are these goals? Your academic, your athletic, your social, your geographic goals. That's one of the first things that we'll do, and really do an athletic assessment and kind of rip off the Band-Aid and try and determine, where are you? Who should we be targeting? Then you've got to run a true marketing campaign. And what that really means, yes, you're sending out emails, but a lot of times when athletes approach this process and they go to send out emails, you all sound the same. You start with, "Hi, coach, my name is, I'm interested in," and you sound like everybody in the country. Or you'll say, "Hey, coach, I want to give you a quick update." And you share a little bit about how your tournament weekend was, and you share a link to your highlights. And the challenge with approaching the process this way without really coming alive and showing your personality is you just are a number at that point. So one of the things that we recommend in this particular situation is, number one, taking a step back, reevaluating your list, making sure that you've casted a wide net and that you get some feedback, whether it's through your club coach, whether you come through us and get an athletic evaluation through us. But you need to get an assessment and figure out, are you targeting, schools and conferences where you can actually play? Then you got to go back to the drawing board and you've got to really, define your marketing strategy and come up with an approach and really learn how to tell your story. One of the things that I want to emphasize when you approach this recruiting process is that college coaches are recruiting people. You are a person. They recruit people. Yes, they recruit athletes, but you are a person and you need to come alive and learn how to tell your story. This is something that we really, really emphasize in our program, is not to get caught up sending the standard updates. You've really got to learn how to talk in a way that, people feel like they get to know you. So learning how to tell a story, what are your favorite foods? What are some of the things that are happening both in your personal life, as well as on the volleyball court? It doesn't just need to stick with the standard, like, hey, I've got straight A's, I'm doing well. Here's a link to my latest highlights. Come watch me play. You want to really learn how to talk about things that are going on. Animals, babies, if you all have siblings or cousins that are babies. I know that sounds silly, but it's really kind of showing a little bit about you and your family and what's going on with you. All of these things matter. So the most basic way to share this is that you are a person. College coaches recruit people and your personality comes to life. So if you want to chat more about you and your journey, feel free, go on to our website, fill out the Get on Our Radar form, and we can totally connect. And by the way, we have a recruiting tip going out tomorrow on sending these emails. So if you register tonight and click on that, then you will get that. Okay. Next question. Am I doing a 2029 watch list? I would love to start my recruiting journey. Awesome. Yes, you should start your recruiting journey in 2029. And some of you might think that is crazy, but it is not. Learning how to market yourself, learning how to show up on social media. I'm guessing if you have an account and you're asking this question as a 2029, your family has some comfort with you being on these social platforms. So learning how to create content and create visibility and exposure for yourself is amazing. And you should totally be doing that. So yes, we are doing a 2029 watch list. I believe it's going to come out next week. I have to confirm with my husband, but I believe that it is coming out either the end of this week or the first of next week, leading into Triple Crown. And then we actually will be updating player rankings after Triple Crown, team rankings. We have so much content that's coming out. It's crazy, from the Tour of Texas this past weekend. Obviously with Triple Crown coming up, we've been on the road. We've been to the Midwest and have caught some of those Midwest teams. We've caught a lot of Texas teams. We've seen some West Coast, not because we've traveled there, but because they've traveled here. And so we will see a lot more teams, obviously at Triple Crown, be creating content and updating all of that good stuff. So just to keep you updated. I get a lot of questions about watch lists and rankings, and then people ask questions about our form. So we have this form, we call it our Get on Our Radar form, and we have discovered some incredible talent in not only in our country, but in other countries. Athletes share their highlights, and whether you create a player profile or you just fill out that Get on Our Radar form, it gives us a lot of information. We learn new things, and it helps us with prepping for major events, whether we want to catch you live or try and shoot content of you, and really, kind of create visibility and exposure. What we are looking for is athletes. We want incredible athleticism. So from a recruiting perspective, we have a recruiting side of our business where we help athletes through the recruiting process. If you didn't know that, you can visit our website and you can get a consult and we can help you with recruiting. But in addition to that, we have a media side where our goal is to go out and create incredible content that creates more fans and more interest in our sport and in our athletes, and create just these amazing stories and share visibility. And so if you fill out that Get on Our Radar form, what it does is it tells us about you, and you're able to share, different fun facts, things about you. We learned so many awesome things about players from all over. And it's really, really helpful to be able to share your stories. So if you're new to the game, it allows us to check that out, which is kind of cool too. All right, next question. Feel free to keep asking questions, and I'm going to go through. I'm an undersized outside right side, and I've been trying to get my coach to move me as a DS libero. How do I get recruited in the class of 2028? Okay, undersized players. First off, as an attacker, if your team needs you as a pin, keep swinging. It is not going to impact your recruiting process if you are swinging on the outside. You more than likely, as a 5'6" player that is expressing interest as a ball control player, you more than likely have the ability to pass. And I would hope that you are a 6 rotation player if this is the case, in which case, a college coach can evaluate you in your skill set, passing and playing defense as a pin. You can talk about your role being needed as a pin. That can be something that you can talk about. Attackers tend to get paid more in college. So even though you are undersized, I would say keep swinging as long as you can, and as long as you can score and make a difference. In terms of how to get recruited, you really need to get the process going. I would recommend that you start with an athletic evaluation and figure out where you should be targeting, or where, essentially we would project you to be. And from there, you would start a email and potentially a social media marketing strategy if your family is comfortable with doing so. You do not have to be on social media to get recruited. It is very powerful. It is an important tool. It can definitely make an impact and it can help you, but you absolutely do not have to be on social to be recruited. So if you're one of those athletes that's concerned about sharing highlights and maybe you're embarrassed and you don't want to, it's okay. You can totally get recruited without it. But if you're on here and you have an interest and you've got an openness and a willingness to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and tell your story, then I'm all for it. And I would recommend that you do so. But it's not going to greatly impact your journey. Anybody can evaluate you and determine, that you need to be in another position in order to play in their particular conference. So if they don't have confidence in you to be able to score in their conference as an attacker, they may consider evaluating you as a ball control player, in which case you can do that. Somebody asked, how many college coaches are you in regular contact with? We're in contact with coaches every day of our lives, like every day, all day. That answers that question. And I'm going through here to see if there are more. So I'm kind of scrolling through here. How do I get started in my recruiting process? I have this really cool program, you all. Her name's Vera. I'm actually going to do a demo of Vera in a couple of days here, where I'm going to come on here and actually show how Vera works and really talk about all of that. Do you think that brands like this have added to the anxiety and toxicity surrounding recruiting culture in the last 5 years? Brands like what, Val? Are you talking about brands that are creating content and creating news and exposure? I think that all attention, I think, everybody that's out here that is working to create content and create visibility and exposures for players is amazing. We have 4 pro leagues in the US. We have a growing sport. It's an incredible time. And it's a really exciting time to be a girls volleyball player in my mind, because of all the incredible opportunity and everybody that's out there working to create content. It's awesome. Macy wants to know, how do I make my emails more unique? I have a program, Macy, called Vera. She's on our website. It's vballrecruiter.com. And when you go onto our website, you can take a look at Vera. Vera allows athletes to create emails using AI that create emails in seconds. It's really incredible. But it helps you with learning how to tell your story. And that's a really important part of standing out from the competition in my mind. So I'm happy to meet with you, happy to chat with you about it. But you can also go to our website and take a look and take a look at some of the video demos. So it's V-Ball Recruiter. And then if you look under services, there's a thing on Vera. I also have a YouTube video that is on our YouTube channel. It's a very long webinar that I hosted, and I talk about emails. We also have a recruiting tip going out tomorrow on how to write more interesting emails. So take a look, subscribe to the website, and you can get more info. Volleyball Jamaica wants to know, do you work with international players? Are you willing to do a workshop seminar in Jamaica? Yes, totally. I do work with international players. I have athletes in Canada. I've worked with athletes that are in Spain, Israel, really all over the world. We work with athletes from all over. We only manage so many players at a time, so you can take a look at the information on our site, but happy to get in touch with you and chat with you further. Moving on here, how can I get more coaches to notice me? So going through this process, one of the things that I talked about a little bit earlier in this segment was running a marketing campaign where you're doing both email and social media marketing. And you're really kind of combining your marketing efforts. So you're running a strategy via email as well as on social. That's going to be how you get more coaches to notice you. However, you have to make sure that you're targeting schools where you can actually play. So if you're focused on Nebraska and Penn State and Pitt and Texas and all these like big time schools and programs, and athletically you aren't a fit, then you are wasting your time and your energy on your marketing campaign going after schools that are out of your reach athletically. Those programs are going to recruit the top 1% in the country. This is why I'm a huge fan of doing an athletic assessment and really kind of getting a feel for where you are, so we can, evaluate and make sure that you're targeting schools that you can play at. When you run a true marketing campaign and a strategy where you're targeting schools where you can play, what will happen is college coaches will then, as a result, come to your court and you will get more exposure. The timing, there's a lot of strategy that goes into this. And so, the timing on your emails matter. What you include in your emails matter. Your highlight reels matter. I can't tell you how many highlight reels we come across that are so poorly done that you would have to be really patient to sit and watch to get, an idea as to where you are. And it's important for you to understand that a college coach, their time is valuable. You need to make sure that you make the most out of those moments, and that when you're sending out content that you're really showcasing and highlighting your best skills. So happy to talk with you about that if that's of interest. I'm a freshman who's in an advanced program to graduate early. So I'm in the class of 27. What should I be doing to get on a coach's radar? I would need to dive in and have a more in-depth conversation with you, Lila, about you, the program that you're in, the goals that you have. Obviously going to college very, very young can have an impact. So I'd like to understand the program that you're in, this process of graduating early, the benefits of you graduating so early. It's not really great in the job market and in the job world, but that's a whole other topic. So I really need to dive in and understand a little bit more about you in order to be able to get more information. How can I get noticed more by college coaches? I just talked a little bit about that. I know you're 14, Taylor. So thanks so much for the question. I love that you're on here and you're paying attention. Again, the content that you create on social is important. Getting on here, creating content that's native to the platform. There's so many of you all that, post videos, that you post highlights. I did this segment a while ago where I started doing auditing, and I was auditing different accounts. I think I'm going to fire that back up because I get so many tags on my social, and the content that some of y'all post is just not fantastic, and it's not really helping you. So Taylor, I am happy you can be the first one that I audit. If you DM me and say, I want an audit, I'm going to audit your account. And then I will give you feedback on how to improve your account and how to create more exposure. But at 14, if you're looking for exposure, you've got to be pretty legit. That's what I will tell you. You got to be pretty legit. Eleanor wants to know, how do I get on your 2029 watch list? Eleanor, number one, you got to be good enough. I know that sounds mean, but you got to be good enough, and you've got to fill out our form and allow us to really assess your skills. When we do these 2029 watch lists, we're looking at athletes that we are potentially going to consider ranking down the line. So just to give you an idea, how do you get on the watch list and get invited to the Red Hat Games? Super excited about the Red Hat Games in 2025. Holy cow. I have not updated the website yet, but we will be updating it this week with the information. There is so many cool things that are happening with the Red Hat Games, you all, this year. 2025 is going to be legit. We have TAV's new facility, which is amazing. It's a 16-court facility. It's absolutely beautiful. There's some really exciting things that are going on there. So fill out the Get on Our Radar form. Let us know where you're playing. Come to our meet and greets. We're hosting a meet and greet at Triple Crown that Friday before. So on Valentine's Day, 4 to 7 p.m., we are hosting a meet and greet. It is free. I'm going to be posting the graphic and the invite and all the information later tonight, but definitely come check it out. We're hosting a series of meet and greets in 25. So we're also doing one the night before Windy City, and we're also doing one the night before Big South. So we'll be in Atlanta, we'll be in Chicago, and we want to meet you. We want to learn more about you and see you in action. So the best thing to do is to always fill out that form. And I know that gets tiring. I post it all the time. But we really do, I actually go through these forms and look at the information. So does my husband, so does our team, and it makes all the difference in the world. So check it out. I'm from Rhode Island, so there's not a lot of national recognition. Totally understand. You've got to work hard for the recognition, which is why I'm a huge fan of social media marketing. Somebody wants to know if I only rank players that we work with. No, we are looking at athletes from all over the country. Many of the athletes that we rank are not clients. Many athletes are just athletes that we have watched, that we have evaluated. So not everybody has to work with us to be on a watch list or to be ranked. That is not how this works. We have a panel of college coaches that meet on a regular basis and chat about rankings and players. And that's essentially what goes into it. So we meet on a monthly basis, we evaluate players, and we update rankings throughout the season. So definitely don't have to work with us. How do you start your recruiting process at a young age? I would recommend that when you're getting started at a young age, you're really focusing on the social media marketing side and really building a brand. Those are going to be the most important things at a young age is really working to learn how to tell a story, sharing content, learning how to network. The networking side of recruiting is so powerful, you all. So building relationships with one another is a really crucial part to being successful. Learning from one another, meeting people at camp, growing that base. Those athletes will show up and cheer for you in your comments and help with your engagement. This is something that we talk a lot about at the Red Hat Games. So definitely something that's really impactful and important. Adele wants to know, is emailing clips highlights a good way to get your attention also? You can totally email me with your clips and your content and I'll take a look. I have really bad ADHD, y'all, so I don't always respond to every little thing. It's really not the best attribute that I have. Sometimes I don't follow up the best. I have somebody on my staff that's really helping me through that. Her name is Jen. So you can also email Jen, Jen, at vballrecruiter.com and send her some insight and send her some info as well. But I always will tell you, go fill out the Get on Our Radar form because that's something that I actually go through. I go through every single submission, look at film. It's the first part of my day, to be honest with you. Every day I go on and look at what's kind of coming through. It's so much work. It's a lot of work, but we'll go through, we'll evaluate. And then I share stuff with my husband. In case you don't know, he is he's our chief editor and does a lot of the writing, does rankings, has been in this industry for over 20 years, is incredible. And so, he goes through the content as well. And it helps us with, obviously we know, if you're at a big club with a big brand, if you're at a TAV, a Wave, a Coast, a Mad Frog, Skyline, these big clubs, Tribe, and you're on the top team and you're playing an open, more than likely, we're going to see you at some point in the season. We'll see you in open. We see just about every team, a Muncie, a Kiva. You're on a top team, we're going to see you. If you're on a team that's, on a smaller club, maybe you're not playing an open. I have some phenomenal athletes that we've worked with through the years that we've really discovered through filling out our form that, we've completely changed their lives and transformed their recruiting journey with just all of our contacts and what we've been able to do in terms of creating visibility and exposure. If you're in that kind of place where you're not getting exposure and it's really hard, you definitely, or you're on a 2s team or a 3s team, it's hard to get exposure when you're playing. You've got to work really, really hard for it. That's why on social, showing up on social, running an email campaign, making sure that you get an athletic evaluation and you're targeting the right schools, all of those things really, really matter and help you with being much more successful, just so you know, in the process. What do I do if I'm a 5'7" DS libero, but I'm being put in the front row because of my height? You're going in the front row because of your height when you love defense. I talked about this a little bit earlier, so you might be new joining the live, but when you're playing out of position If you are an undersized attacker who has a passion for, ball control, if you want to be a libero or a DS, but maybe you're being utilized as a pin on your team, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be proactive in your process. You can be very transparent with coaches that you have an open mind to play in multiple positions. This is the role that you're playing right now. You're filling the role as a pin because your club needs you as a pin right now. All of that will totally suffice when you're going through the process. So don't think like you have to wait and not start the process because you're playing out of position. It's really okay. But you do need to kind of learn how to tell your story and allow coaches to know that you're filling a role of what your team actually needs, at the time. So that's what I can say about that. How can I get, a lot of this is about exposure. How do I get exposure? I've talked a little bit about that. This is a really good question. How can I get a college to look at me when I've been sending emails with no response for 2 years? So if you are targeting schools that you cannot play for, that are athletically out of reach, and you are messaging, I don't care if you message every single day, it's not going to result in them coming to watch you play. Like, you have to understand that a college coach is going to spend their time on athletes that they feel can help their program. If they do not feel that you can help the program athletically, then they are not going to communicate. They may even block your emails if you continue to send them, if they don't feel like you're going to help. I know that sounds really mean, but it's the reality. They have to spend their time on athletes that are going to help the program. So if you're messaging and you're not hearing anything, depending on what's going in those messages, depending on your highlights. Again, I go back to an athletic evaluation, making sure that you are targeting schools where you can play, because it matters. It definitely matters. So I'm going to answer like one more question here. How full are college classes for the 27 class? For 2027, recruiting is kind of like underway and coaches are starting to pay attention, but offers can't be done until after June 15th. So nothing's really being done in the class of 2027. I mean, coaches are evaluating and starting to look at players. That's certainly something that's happening, but they're not, they're certainly not done. What do I need to do to work with you and meet you? Go to our website, vballrecruiter.com, and you can go to the contact page. You can go to, you can book a call with Jen. You can DM me, and I'm happy to connect with you there. And meet and connect and chat. I don't take everybody on as a client, and we only work with so many players at a time, but we have a variety of programs now. I used to only have one program, but we have basically a lot of new programs that we've launched. So it's kind of an exciting time. Super excited. Okay. That is all for tonight. I'm going to keep coming on live. You all, I started with this new platform. I'm working on StreamYard. And so I'm able to stream on all these platforms at once, which has been super fun. So looking to share more on Vera and connect with you all. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really excited to connect with you all. And I am so pumped for 2025, y'all. Let me tell you, like, there is so much exciting stuff that is happening in my life, with my kids, with this business. It's going to be a great year. 2024 was a rough year, really, really difficult year, but 2025 is starting off with a bang, and I am super pumped. We've got so many really exciting things that are happening. So really appreciate you all coming on and joining and seeing me tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to keep coming on live. I want to do this every night. So if you enjoyed it, let me know that you had fun tonight, that you learned something new. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. So thanks again, everybody.